Multifamily Mindset
podcast. Think bigger.
Welcome back to another episode of the Multifamily Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Zach Rucker, coach here at the Multifamily Mindset. For those just joining us, welcome aboard. We're excited to have you part of our growing community. We deliver fresh content twice a week. Tuesdays are typically where we have interviews with previous students that are in through our mentorship program, and we go through their stories. And then Thursdays, Dallas, our mindset mentor, my friend, drops golden nuggets, pulls out the tools, mindset tools from those conversations and other ones to use in your everyday life and in your business. With that being said, I'm super excited for who our guests are today and for you guys to learn about their story and their journey through the ups and downs and where they're at today. And hopefully you guys can learn something from that. And so our guest today is Joe and Lucy Lawrence from Cornerstone Investment Group. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Super excited to have you and for you guys to share your knowledge, your experience in this.
Thanks for having us. It's great to be on, Zach.
Awesome. So let's give the listeners a little backstory. Who is Joe and Lucy? When did you guys come into multifamily, the space, multifamily mindset, and kind of what does that kind of backstory look like for you guys?
Yeah, so we joined in September 2022, and we had just come out of selling our businesses, childcare, preschool centers, and the real estate. Got into bought a commercial building right after we sold. We're interested in multifamily, but didn't know, how are we going to buy a fourplex, eightplex, and try to do it all. And we started seeing the advertisements on Facebook. Of course, it was Tyler, and we actually were heading to Taiwan a couple of weeks later. So we joined right we went to the 3-day, and then we were leaving for Taiwan shortly after that. So it was actually a great opportunity. We were there for 2 months in Taiwan visiting Lucy's family, and we had some free time then to really dig into the coursework and start to develop things. And it really was a great program, a great encouragement for us of that teamwork model, that syndication model of working together and complementing others in different skill sets. So it's been a journey since then. You always wish that things would go a bit faster, but we're appreciative of the opportunities that we've had since then and the growth that we've had, and we're excited for the days ahead.
Awesome. So it's been 2 years now. And before that, you mentioned you were business owners, right? So you had the experience of being business owners, and this was childcare. This was, I guess, go into that a little bit. Maybe Lucy, expand on like your previous business there, and like how is that maybe your skill sets that you learned from running that kind of helped you jump into this multifamily space?
So, being in the childcare industry is about a little bit over 10 years. I think lots of regulation, especially our second center in a different state, and we try to learn a lot of different computer program and organization skill. And also from there, we joined the business group, be able to really spending time with have master mindset people together. National-wide and in America, that is just amazing experience. That's also one thing encouraged us to jump into the multifamily mindset, because we understand the value of being with people, have a growing mindset, then you will be continue growing. Otherwise, you just stuck into your day-to-day operation and you cannot even work on your business. You just work into your business and kind of have your head down, eye on your desk, just working, I don't know, blindly kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, you highlighted that really important piece of like just surrounding yourself with uh, people that are going to help elevate you to the next level, people you can brainstorm with that are there to help, and you to help them. And having that sense of community is so important. And you guys realize that in your business previously, and then saw that with the multifamily mindset. And I've seen you guys through the past couple of years, and you guys really diving into the network and helping others out too. And that's been so fun to watch you guys grow in this. But you guys understood the power of that, and then the helping other people out. So I love that. I love that you highlighted that piece. So now it's been 2 years into the multifamily space. What are you guys up to? What have you been able to accomplish in the past 2 years?
Yeah, so we've had a number of passive investments. Um, well, we got involved in a 203 unit in Des Moines, Iowa last December. And our focus all along had been primarily on the acquisition side of things, building out some systems and, really trying to become experts at sourcing properties and analyzing them. Lucy's really focused on underwriting, as Zach.
Oh yeah.
But kind of back to our previous business, a chunk of that, I'm a teacher by trade, and that's kind of why we opened up our business. But I really came to love the real estate end of things, really seeing a vision for a property and seeing it come to fruition of whatever needs to happen, whether it's renovations or we did build a new building as well for our childcare. And then being able to see people, in that case, and it was kind of living. I mean, we were open 12 hours out of the day, live and work there and and function within that space. And that really obviously lends well to multifamily. That said, it was kind of a property management situation. We had handymen and of course like major renovations and building a new building, we had builders for that, but I was quite involved with those processes and the day-to-day building function, at least overseeing it, and knew that I enjoyed that. And yet I also knew that it could get very involved and that's kind of a catch 22. So we kind of avoided that aspect a little bit. Knew that eventually we'd probably get involved more in the asset management, and that has since become an opportunity with this Des Moines property that we weren't initially planning to, be super involved. We were definitely obviously involved as a GP, but we've had the opportunity to come in the last couple of months and lead the weekly meetings and update some of the or create some documents for the meetings, tracking projects, tracking capex, trying to take inventory of what's going on with each unit. So we've really enjoyed that aspect in the last couple of months, and we're excited for where that is going to go. And it obviously is quite a bit. There's a lot of similarities, but it's quite a bit different than our previous experience of managing the assets that we own as the business. So that's been good.
Good. No, that's awesome. So jumped into a deal. We were able to be a part of a deal, GP side. Didn't think you were going to get too involved on the asset management, but then you had the opportunity and you took that and building up processes and systems. I mean, you're speaking my language with that and into the asset management side. Because as myself, like, yeah, underwriting's been the key, and then understanding asset management and getting your hands into that, you learn so much more on how to be even becoming a better, acquisitions person or underwriting person by getting involved in that. And I'm sure that's probably what you guys are learning as we were talking before this of just the different systems and processes you're looking to add to just to your repertoire, your skill set, right? So you've been able to jump into the asset management piece. What has that looked like? now kind of going forward, what are you doing like within those, right? You're leaving the meetings out. What other pieces have you been able to like create and probably help you in your business?
Yeah, a big one is kind of creating the master or helping update the master document that has the meeting agenda and kind of a to-do list for each week. It has the different contacts in it that, whether it's vendors or, um, people that are on site there. Um, a few, well, about a month ago, we went down there to get a clearer picture, honestly, of some of the units that still needed to be updated. And we, basically developed a system to do a pretty in-depth but quick walkthrough of those units. And we targeted the 2 beds because those are definitely the hottest for the market there, that we know we can get those ready. They'll be able to rent out. So, put together a system there that, we easily filled out it's spreadsheet that we had printed out, but we created folders, Google folders for each unit, so we could easily just click into that folder. We got into the room and we just, took kind of the same angle pictures, so we could get pretty much, not every square inch, but pretty close in a quick fashion of each room, and also, go through that checklist and get a pretty detailed scope of what needs to happen. We've also been working on trying to get a better system so everybody's on the same page, even us that, are removed from that day to day of the different projects that are going on. You've of course got building inspection stuff. You've got stuff that comes around that we call seasonal stuff. Now it's getting cold, so we need to make sure to turn off all the outdoor faucets so they don't freeze and explode in the winter. And of course, CapEx stuff. And then you also get into the maintenance request items. How are we keeping track of all that, and how are we, as the asset managers that are removed from the day to day, how are we keeping track, at least keeping a pulse on what's going on, and how well are we progressing? And so we're excited to deploy this system that hopefully will help kind of keep everybody on the same page a little bit better.
Hey, listeners, thank you for tuning in to the MFM podcast. We truly appreciate your support and hope you're enjoying the insights from our incredible guests. We have one small favor to ask. Please leave us a review and rating. Your feedback means the world to us. And to show you our appreciation, we're giving away some great prizes to some lucky listeners who leave us a review. So scroll down, share your thoughts, and help us continue to bring valuable content. Thanks, and back to the show.
Yeah, I love that. Just diving into the details, and you don't realize how much you're diving into until you're in the asset management role, and you're learning that, right? It's very hands-on to be able to learn that, just the different nuances, especially that communication piece. And you bringing that up, communicating with the property management company and also with your partners, and then even from there, communication down to investors. Like that communication is so critical to have built out and do efficiently, because if it's not, deals can easily start going down a different route. And I know I've seen that when it's just even just a lack of understanding of what's going on, and sharing that. So dialing that in, and you guys noticing that with just your short time of jumping into the asset management role, I think is a big piece that you guys have already recognized, and I think that's definitely going to help accelerate and help you guys effectively execute your business plan, right? Which is the goal there.
Yeah, another component there, obviously there are more details to the spreadsheets, but is the KPI tracker that a lot of this basically is based off of the EOS traction. I've got I've
I
got
see
the
it. I see it right in the background. Those are that
and
watching. Yeah.
really, and I know that MFM, MFCP, I'm sure are still using it. You know, it's something that we used in our previous businesses and really is a great framework for any business. And I'll say simplified framework for any business. And so, things like the KPI tracker, we helped put that in, early on when we took over this property. So, keeping track of the key performance indicators week after week is a pretty big part of the weekly meetings, making sure that numbers are trending in the right direction, is critical.
Yeah. So what are some of those KPIs that you guys track for your property, or that have you found that's helpful? And maybe have you found some too that you thought were important to track and you realized that maybe those weren't ones and you kind of filtered some?
So right now what we have is more, I think probably lots of people would do the similar things, but we definitely tracking the occupancy and also all the traffic include the lease until you sign how to say silent lease. So they have different steps. And also the work order, and also what is the inventory to the vacant room, maybe studio, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and breakdown, and also what it is need to be renovated and what is just need to wait for turn, and how many rooms already rented out. Those basic information. I think in the future, we would like to, when we have a better detail of our plan of the renovation, and then we will have those things laid out too, like how long, how many rooms we would like to turn or renovate it. That should be the tracker too. And of course, the financial will be a big one, and for every property to track if the occupancy, not just occupancy, economic occupancy is really important, and how many the delinquency, and then what is your NOI, and that will affect your existing price and hugely. So that is probably things we always tracking. In the future, we probably will add more, but that's what we have right now.
Yeah, we just finished reading Best in Class. It's an asset management book, and so they've got a lot of resources and free things online. If anybody's interested out there in asset management, it's a good book that's got, some good overviews and free documents on their website. Definitely recommend that.
Yeah. Another thing is talking about the being planning and organized, and Joe and I been doing one thing. I don't know, maybe people would be interested too. One thing we do is like we have a morning huddle together. So we do our devotional every day there, and then we kind of ask each other, what are you focused on today? What is your goal today? Maybe list like 2 or 3 things. And so we kind of keep each other accountable, and also know what are you working on, what my goal is. And then, I mean, end of the day, I mean, you may not be able to reach all of them, but you really need to think like, what is your goal today? And you need to focus on those things. And if those goals will be helping you to reach your milestone in the future, this quarter, this year, or the next 10 years.
And that actually plays into EOS traction. Over the years, like I said, we've used it in our businesses, but we've really realized that why don't we use this in our personal life? And so we have in the last couple of years, having a yearly planning meeting, quarterly meetings, and then weekly meetings to go over, similar things like we are in the business, which is it's by no means perfect. Do we miss some of the meetings? Absolutely. But,
Yeah.
It really helps us kind of keep on track and keep rowing in that direction, because it's easy to get off on all sorts of side trails.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that you guys brought up traction in EOS. So yeah, for those listeners don't know, read the book Traction. EOS is the entrepreneur operating system, so it's going to be implemented in in any business and even into your personal life. And I love that you guys have done that because it's a structure that is simple to follow, but is so powerful if you just follow the steps and you follow, the meeting and having your own KPI tracker of your own goals. It is so powerful. So listeners, if you haven't read it, read it, implement it in your life. There's even a book, The Day in a Life of EOS, or something like that, where it's more of a personal, where he teaches how to use EOS in your personal life.
Yeah, I
So
don't think we've read that one. They've got a nice book for your employees called What the Heck is EOS,
yeah,
which is kind of a simplified version that explains it even easier. So definitely recommend that as well.
yeah, they got a handful of books and tools, but it's so powerful, and I love that you guys were able to, one, you've been implementing that in your business previously, and then take that into the asset management role and implement that into that. And I think that's so powerful, because some people will jump in the asset management role and they think the property management company is tracking all that. And some property management companies are really good with tracking and giving you some reports. While others, I'm surprised when I've jumped on and some of my deals and I get reports from a property management company and I'm like, this isn't enough. You're like, we're not tracking it accurately. And so for you guys to take that and implement that system and that communication with your property management company, I'm sure is so powerful, to get them on the same page. Because that's, again, going back to that, is that communication being on the same page. So I love that you guys have done that. I mean, I'm sure that's given you guys a lot more, just confidence in executing your business plan, right?
Yeah, definitely. That kind of leads into another topic that has already been mentioned a little bit of, systems and planning, maybe as an encouragement to listeners. I was saying before we jumped on or started recording that, it's by my nature that I'm really a procrastinator and, probably some levels of ADHD kind of stuff and super unorganized and really with our businesses, I realized that have to get organized. We have to create systems and have systems for tracking things and so if you're not feeling very organized, that's okay. That's where that's more Lucy's tendency, and so I think it's also to appease her of being organized and you know but there is hope for developing systems. Obviously EOS is a great set of tools or at least some frameworks to help guide you what systems to have, but it's really out of necessity for previous businesses and now this business of thinking of systems and processes. And as we were talking about automations, now it's easy to think about like what automations could we implement, automations, and we'll call it AI, whatever that actually means. It's easy to think, oh, what type of automation could I incorporate here that is really at our fingertips now? So it's really quite exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, the lesson I pull from that, there's still hope for those that are disorganized out there and procrastinations, right? Or just get you a Lucy that's going to help you keep you on track, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So power of partnership too, is definitely a takeaway, to help with that. But you're right, and I think you mentioned so many tools and strategies to help those people, implementing traction, and it does become a necessity. With that, outside of this asset management, implementing these processes and systems like you guys are implementing in your life, what are some of your goals that you have that you were looking to achieve? And that could be with the property as well. This next year, as we're going into 2025, like what are some of those goals that you're looking to achieve, and to just keep moving the needle forward?
Yeah. I mean, for sure, we'll continue looking for more deals and partners. That's why we attending different conferences and hope to be resourceful and helpful, but also meet more people. And by the way, that's how we get into our first GP deal, because the networking with our partner, Jack Michaud, right before peak. And then we get a good partnership from there. Then we've been doing this for a couple years and joined the Samaritan Purse mission trip, and it's amazing experience, and just take a week off and not thinking ourselves, just being there to service other people. And so we would like continue to doing that.
Yeah, and maybe this is a plug that I already put out there on the MFM Facebook page. We would like to organize kind of a service slash mastermind trip, um, to go and serve with hurricane relief. There's even Tampa, Florida, and obviously a lot in North Carolina. But to go and serve for maybe 3, 4 days, and then have a day of mastermind, encouraging whatever people want to get help on, to have a day set aside for that as well. Um, you know, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I love that. I love bringing the service in and then adding another value of just masterminding. So getting people together for a greater purpose than yourself, than your business, but then also creating that community, right? We're always going back to that community, and it shows kind of your guys' values there, and purpose it is greater than just being successful and closing on deals. It's giving service and utilizing that, but then bringing your business along, I think is awesome. So I love how you guys are doing that. And how else has that kind of really played a role in what you guys are looking to do or what you have done?
Sorry, how else has the
As like
service
yeah,
community?
just like your values there with just that service oriented piece.
Well, I think there's probably a lot of different directions to take that, bring that answer. Um, I just want to say also maybe a plug from a community aspect. We actually been talking with the Tim O'Rourke, I think that's how you
Tim
pronounce his,
O'Rourke. Yep.
about putting together some sort of regional MFM, maybe masterminds or mini conferences. We had actually talked this last summer, it just didn't work out timing wise, of having some sort of maybe 2-day event put together. Obviously, maybe not MFM sponsored per se, but in Chicago would probably be a location. And so those are some dreams that we, would like to continue to work towards, again, from a community aspect. From a service aspect, there's kind of a lot to that. As being Christians, we've got a real basic purpose statement of building people up so they may in turn build up others. Obviously, for us, we want people to be able to see Christ as a result of that. But that purpose statement first kind of came to, public view in our previous childcare business, where we just had it building people up so they may in turn build up others, and was really it's really simple, a simple, why or purpose statement that anybody can grab a hold of, and anybody can go about their day as a gauge, is what I'm doing building people up or not? The mailman comes and drops off the mail. Are we building them up or not? And so, we really, want that to continue in our real estate investing. We really have a passion for small business in general, and having impact there. And so obviously real estate is a good avenue for that. I've got a dream for, setting up some sort of organization, maybe a website to help encourage small business owners, kind of in general, whether it's real estate or other areas of small business, again, that building people up so they can turn around and build up others. So I don't know if
No,
that
no,
answers your question or
yeah,
not.
no, it is. Yeah, no, thanks for sharing on that. So I want to jump to, and you're kind of jumping into these next questions already, that what I call, I think bigger questions. And so this first one is, how do you choose to think bigger?
What?
You want to
No, you can.
answer that? I don't have a great answer for that. Um, I think for me, it's kind of a God perspective of, him encouraging us to, follow him. And that means to, do things that maybe aren't our comfort zone, or maybe we have no idea what the steps are going to be or where that's going to lead, but to have that trust and not just stay in the situations that we're in, but to continue to grow, and as a Christian, ultimately to be sanctified. So, I think from a how do I choose to think bigger? I mean, it's really kind of an excitement of, an opportunity each day to grow and to have an impact, to be able to build people up. And so, from there, it kind of gets into, from a think bigger standpoint, you have to think of, systems and ways to do things more efficiently in order to be able to do more.
Another perspective from me, I would say like I remember when we sold the business, we went for a trip and we was sat down by the beach. And we just drove by and then we find a place to sit down and then kind of have a reflection, thinking about the 10 years journey. And I'm sure I'm not the only one always feel like I'm not capable, I'm not smart, and I can do this, I can not do that. We give ourselves lots of limit. But at that point, and I realized, yeah, maybe before that, actually, we have a big dream. Joe had a big dream is we are going to have 10 centers. It's a big. But lots of times we're looking at that dream just like, man, it take us 10 years to build 2 centers. But then we forgot to look back to see actually these 10 years, we made lots of progress. And what is that book called?
There's a Dan Sullivan's kind of a leader, business leader, thought leader, and the gap in the gain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Instead
yeah.
of looking at the gap of where, you're shooting for the stars, you're always looking at there's always going to be a gap there. But what he says is you should actually look back and see the gain of where you've come from. You shoot from the stars and you land on the moon. That's pretty good, and now you have more time and more opportunity to continue working on that gap. But you're always progressing in the gain, but we never look back at the gain. We're always looking
Yeah.
at that gap, which
Yeah.
which always changes. You get into 100 unit deal, and all of a sudden it's like, well, now my gap is, well, if I can do 100, why not 500?
Yeah. So the
Yep.
point is don't be afraid to dream big and don't afraid to chase the big things. And even you don't get that big, like you say, I want to get $1,000 next year. I know that's a huge, but if you continue to push it and when you look back, you were just like, wow, I did this. Yeah.
Yeah. I love
Zach,
that.
I think something else that I want to mention now that we're talking about Dan Sullivan, I think something, so, I guess I call myself a perfectionist too. And like, and I'm sure people relate to this. I never wanted to start something until I had, and Lucy's somewhat like this too. We never want to start something unless we had full confidence, full assurance, full
Yeah.
plan of like how this is going to be executed and succeed. Like, basically wanted no risk, right?
Yep.
We ended up seeing quite a while back, Dan Sullivan, the same guy that's got the gap in the gain. It's called the 4 C's. And basically the 4 C's are, the first one is commitment. You're going to make a commitment to go and do something. Maybe it's join MFM or purchase a multifamily complex. So first you need to make the commitment, and then from there you start to build up the courage to actually go out and start doing things, start to make it happen. And eventually, through that doing and learning, you develop capabilities. You become capable. And then at the very end comes the confidence, where we always want a confidence in the beginning, but confidence kind of comes after making that commitment, building up the courage, developing capabilities, and then you become confident. And then you're ready to start that cycle over again with bigger and more complex things. And that really helps me, probably on a daily basis. So I don't think of the 4 C's that often, but it helps me to think, okay, I want that confidence, and thinking bigger, but I know that if I want that confidence, I can start today of getting courage, building those capabilities, starting to do things, taking action, and that confidence will come. And so you kind of have confidence knowing that that's how it works. You have confidence knowing that you're gonna get there to the confidence of being an expert in an area, even if you're not today.
Yeah, I love that. You guys highlighted so many key points with the gap in the game, the 4 C's, and that allows you, those are tools that allow you to think bigger, right? Those are tools that you can use in that journey. And I love how you guys highlighted those. So, next question, how do you define success?
Wow.
Yeah, I would say in making progress, in whatever area, however big your goals are, making progress for us again, looking at it from a Christian worldview, are we living for Christ? Are we building people up and, you know, serving people and encouraging people to consider him? So, but again, I think progress, that doesn't mean there aren't setbacks, but you're working towards progress and whatever that looks like for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. Just progress, moving forward. Last question, what is the best advice you can give new multifamily investors and students?
I've told this to a number of people, and I wish I had a better wrapping of being able to say it, but I really think that taking action, getting out there and there's a lot of different groups that end up forming, and there's some 100 doors in 100 days groups that meet, and I really encourage to take action and start to build things, build some of those systems. And it doesn't mean you have to build from scratch, but see what's on the MFM page, do a Google search, but it's easy to kind of get into a group and everybody's talking and looking at properties, but you know, to start to take action and building out systems, this is a business. There are lots of systems that need to take place, and it's easy to just kind of go through the homework and you're drinking from a fire hose, but start to put all that together in a manner that makes sense to you and is easy to navigate from hey, this is a business. How can I start to build that even from day one of joining the mentorship?
Love that.
Take action.
Take action. Yep. That's great advice. Awesome. Well, you guys added a lot and dropped a lot of knowledge and tools that our listeners can take away from this. So, listeners, if you missed some of those, go back, listen to this episode again, because Joe and Lucy added a lot of different tools and strategies they use in their business, in their everyday life to help them get to where they're at. And I know it's going to help just keep pushing them forward to hit their goals. And so I appreciate you guys jumping on, sharing your story, your experience with our listeners. Is there anything else you guys want to end with?
Yeah, I would again just echo, taking action, thinking of, what systems you can implement, thinking of what automations you can implement, and really this is a network. The syndication model is working with others to do what we can't do on our own. So, getting out of your comfort zone and connecting. And maybe that is, oftentimes that is through taking action. Lucy mentioned our partnership. It was setting up a very small little meetup right before peak in Tampa that we met out of the 4 or 5 other people that joined that very small meetup, Jake, and now, we're partnered on this Des Moines property and hopefully more properties to come. So you never know what, that little step that you took to take action, put yourself out there. Maybe it's helping organize something. You never know where that will lead, but you are providing value that adds to that. So
Yeah, the one thing I would say, just persistence and don't give up. I know it's not easy to get a deal, and of course you don't want to jump into a bad deal neither. But don't give up, and it takes time, and it take your commitment to meet people, to look for a deal, to, I don't know, some people want to raise capitals, and you can't just sit there thinking that things will drop from the sky. It's not, but you need consistency and keep moving and be able to be there.
little by little, a little becomes a lot.
Yeah, one step by step.
Yes, love it. Okay, we're gonna end with that because that was gold. So appreciate you guys jumping on. Listeners, if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, share it with someone else. And we will see you guys next time.
Multifamily mindset. Podcast. Think